start up in a second. Okay. See, I'm telling you, I could also be like a Zoom worker at this point, because it's like I've just learned how to work these things so well.
That's I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I'm a teams advocate, so
For
you can work
teams.
for Zoom and I'll
Okay.
work
I know,
for
I
teams.
think everyone's picking sides nowadays
Yeah,
because we all have different platforms. Some people like
yeah,
Skype still, FaceTime.
yeah. Dinosaurs.
Exactly. All right, perfect. So we're live now. So thanks again for coming on with us tonight, Scott. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you and how you got involved with who we played for.
All right, so I'm Scott Colloredo. I'm well, how much do you want to know? I'm 56 years old. I live in Cocoa Beach, Florida. I'm a proud alumnus of the University of Tennessee in Knoxville and the University of Central Florida. I have worked for NASA for 35 years at Kennedy Space Center and loved every minute of it.
Absolutely. So tell us, how did you get involved with who we play for? How did you meet up with this crazy gang of folks trying to do something big?
Well, I've lived in Cocoa Beach for quite a bit of that 35 years, and the whole crowd, race buddies, are like kids to me in a way. Evan Ernst's dad, Eric, is a good friend of mine. We worked at NASA a long time together. I've known Evan and his brothers since they were probably 3 or 4 years old. And Evan, when he got old enough to be as persuasive as he is, convinced me to, he said, "Hey, Mr. Colloredo," I said, "You can call me Scott." But Evan says, "Hey," I goes, I need some help on this board, and I think you'd be helpful. And frankly, I'm not connected in this community, but it turns out some of my NASA skills, or some of my more, I've been able to develop some projects over the year, and so I'm somewhat of the project manager in a way to help out with the effort. And like I said, Evan just convinced me this was a good cause, and I believed him. And I've probably been on the board, I can't even tell you, probably 7 or 8 years now.
Absolutely. I mean, and he's a very persuasive guy.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk to him, because whatever he asks me to do, and I do have some defense mechanisms where I can hold him off for a little bit, but pretty much when he'll get what he wants. So I just agree to it.
I just
The
got
effort.
it.
I know he's been able to convince me to be on this board, and now we have a big fundraiser every year as part of December to Remember.
Yeah, let's talk about the golf scramble. I mean, talk a little bit how it got started and what you guys are planning this year and stuff like that.
Well, it started out, frankly, the golf thing, as my buddies and I, the Friday before Christmas was just a fun thing for probably half a dozen guys, which grew to, and guys and ladies, eventually grew to 7 or 8 foursomes. We just go out there and have some fun. And eventually one of those things that Evan persuaded me about said, "Hey, how about we do a little more with that?" And I'm like, that would be a good fundraiser. So as of about probably 7 or 8 years ago, we've now turned that into a fundraiser at Cocoa Beach Country Club. They've been great to us. They charge us a nice rate, and we're able to make a nice little, I would call it a profit, but our earnings, let's say, go to the Who We Play For charity.
Okay, so this year, I guess obviously it's probably a little bit more meaningful to who we play for, obviously, just because it's been a pandemic, not a lot of room to fundraise, things like that. So, how many people are you hoping to get out there this year?
So let me tell you a little bit about the format first. So we play a 4-person scramble, and which is if you're not a golfer, all that means is everybody hits a shot, you take the best shot. So even if you've never played golf in your life, or you don't think you're very good, it does not matter. You pick up the ball, you go to the best. We normally get about 20 to 25 teams, but I'll tell you, this year, I think we're already at like almost 25 teams. So I think we're going to fill up this year, which right around 30 plus teams is our limit. And they're a little bit different this year because of the COVID restrictions. But frankly, I've played golf this year more than I have in almost my entire life, because it's something to do outside.
One of the things you can do.
The wind's blowing, and I've already checked the weather for next week. It looks beautiful. It's going to be sunny and like 73 over 65. It's going to be beautiful. And basically the COVID things that we're doing differently, everything will be outside, and we're going to make the check-in very simple. You walk up, and if you've already paid, we're just going to send you to your cart. You hang out with your buddies. go over there and drink beer and play golf, and that's a good day. If you haven't paid yet, we'll check you in, a quick little swipe of your credit card, and you'll be on your way. So we're gonna make it as efficient as possible. Get right to the having fun playing golf and drinking beer.
Absolutely. Perfect. All right. So I think those are all the questions we have. Our last question we always like to ask people when we get on here. Obviously, the name of the game is who we play for. So we always like to ask people, you know, what's your reason behind and what's your why and who do you play for?
I would say I play for Rachel, my daughter. My daughter was born with something called Williams syndrome, and she's a super high performing kid and has a great time. She does have a heart murmur, so we kind of keep an eye on that. And being part of this organization helps me to understand a little bit of the science behind it. And knowing that people like Evan and the board and the whole organization are doing what they do, it makes me feel good that I'm in very, very small part contributing to that.
Absolutely. All right. Perfect.